I'm here with Matt Goldberg, Jeannotte, and Yates from Uncalled for, the sensational improv and sketch troupe from Montreal that have developed an incredibly strong following here in Toronto over the years. Now, guys, you guys are here for the Toronto Sketch Festival. How did the show last night go?
It's our first time performing these particular sketches, and we got a wonderful reaction to it. It was a lot of fun.
You guys have typically kind of veered towards the surreal, but always with a very kind of intellectual, almost, how would you say, a refined nerdiness. And last night there was a little bit of political intrigue. There's a little bit of that 99.1% theme going on.
Yeah, subtle undertones.
That's right. Do you feel as though that's kind of like a natural development of you, or is that simply you're kind of following the times?
Well, it's something that was a bit of a challenge, right? Like the idea to write something kind of political.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, for me at least, I did not write that scene. I wrote lots of political material that did not make it into the show, but for me at least, it's just, I don't know, it's what's been on my mind lately. It's what's been so present, and it's all around us and hard to ignore. And we all have our own opinions about this, and so it just sort of made sense to talk about it.
I think it says a lot about, I think all of our shows, it sounds weird to say this if you've seen our stuff, all of our stuff speaks to what is on our mind at the time. And actually all three of us independently wrote some stuff that had a little bit of this political bent, so there's something very much in the zeitgeist really going on right now. Like Dan said, it's a challenge, something we really want to challenge ourselves to try and do.
Yeah, can you make something that's current and important funny?
And not heavy-handed. That's so hard.
That's a question that we have not yet answered.
We tested the waters last night because, we're not a political troupe. We don't really do that normally, but why not try it?
There you go. Yeah. I thought one of the more successful parts of that particular segment about the 99.1% was the visual that you created. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the scene is about these CEOs who work on the top floor of a 100-floor building, and the safety of the rest of the building is called into question when it's brought up that none of the other floors have fire escapes. Only the top floor has a fire escape. And in trying to make a physical scene out of it, we thought, why not have the two of us who are in the scene sitting on the shoulders of the two tall guys in the troupe? So we tower above the fifth actor who is representing floors 2 through 99. And so, we are sitting on each other's shoulders for this 5-minute scene. And it kind of has this effect of these guys are huge and ridiculous, or that was kind of the idea at least.
Yeah, I also love, we don't really acknowledge what they are actually, how they are physically bigger. Are they actually sitting on people's shoulders? This is never addressed.
We specifically make it vague, like it could be like a creepy servant thing, or they could just be riding ostriches or something.
They could be mech warriors.
Yeah, or they could just be really tall, But I think it's something that comes from the fact that sometimes if we write a scene that doesn't have any natural movement implied in it, that could just be like, because this could just have been just a boardroom, people sitting in chairs and talking to each other. Yeah. We look for at least some kind of theatricality to inject into it and something to make it look more interesting, and that's what we did. And it was a lot of fun.
And very difficult for the guys who were forced to support our weight for 5-6 minutes. Especially when we started forgetting our lines and we had to add
Actually, I carried Dan.
It's funny because this show was partly... and at least one newspaper was mentioned that Mike Hughes has been performing with Cirque du Soleil for a while, and so I kind of was hoping that there would be at least somebody in the audience coming to this show hoping to see some level of circus magic, and the closest thing that we brought them was some people sitting on some people's shoulders.
Which is pretty sweet if you think about it.
You just mentioned the theatricality that you try to bring to your shows, which always struck me as one of the defining characteristics of Uncalled For, that it wasn't just this kind of classic like setup, punchline, resolution, blackout, repeat. You've put a ton of work.
We rarely have resolution in our scenes.
And punchlines also not really.
Blackouts we never do.
No, so you've always got these interesting transitions. Do you consider yourselves theater makers with a strong comedic twist first, or are you sketch artists who have refined the genre to the point where it's seamless with theater, or is that just kind of an asshole question with no answer?
I think.
Well, it's not an asshole question. It's a clear question. It's a good question because I think our stuff does sort of straddle some lines between theater and sketch, and so it's natural to wonder what we think we're doing.
I don't know if I like the word refine, because I think that what we're doing is different than a lot of people and other people are doing, but I don't think of it as it's a different kind of process by which we're trying to explore these scenes.
I mean, we all do theater, and we've all done improv. Obviously, we're an improv troupe, and we do comedy that kind of, I don't know, speaks to our interests. We'd like to see something like what we're putting on, sketch that brings up some bigger questions without taking itself too seriously, or that goes in some directions that are beyond the setup punchline, So I don't know. I mean, we do talk about it as sketch. It is sketch comedy for sure. But sketch comedy, what is it? It's a kind of storytelling, and storytelling is theater, and so it all melds together. And we definitely like the idea of putting together sketch shows that are more of a whole, that are not just standalone pieces, but an album instead of just a bunch of singles.
You're starting to put together, or I shouldn't say put together, but strengthen your online presence with a new kind of mini web series. Tell me a bit more about that.
www.uncalledfor.
No, you just got it wrong. Okay, don't listen to him. We are uncalledfor.com.
You don't even need the triple W dot in front of it.
Not anymore.
We are uncalledfor.com is where we launched that as a brand new site this summer, and we've shot a number of web videos that we've been putting out at a rate of one a week. We're currently on a little hiatus from our release of web videos, but that was a process of it's a mix of pieces that have been part of our live shows and pieces that we wrote specifically for that, or that we dug up and thought were better suited for video than for a live show. We just wanted to reach a wider audience that couldn't necessarily come out to see us live, and see if we could become Justin Bieber.
Fantastic.
It's all of our joint goal, I think, is to become a 4-year-old pop star.
Yeah, I mean, ever since Celine Dion has kind of disappeared partially off the map, I think everything, every Canadian now is.
She will never disappear off the map.
Well, no, that's
We're
true.
From Quebec, man. We all have to have tattoos of her on our faces. You can't see them. That's why we have beards.
That's part of the bilingual law, isn't it?
Oh yeah. No 101 is rough. I'm just saying.
And for Torontonians who want to see you next, where are you going to be?
We're going to be at the Next Stage Festival in January at the Factory Theatre. Very excited about that. That's January
4th to the 16th, I think.
Something like that. Yeah, we'll be performing Hypnagogic Logic, which is our dream show.
Our longest running show.
Yes, it's been a huge success for us. We're really thrilled to be able to keep going with it because we're always, tweaking and refining it as we go along, because I think we're improvisers at heart and we can't stand to be repetitive.
So this version of the show is going to have some new stuff in it, and some little tweaks for people who have seen it before, that to get them to come out again. And it's really nice to be.
You'll have actually done it more in Toronto than in Montreal by this point.
So they deserve it. They deserve the new version.
Yeah, it's nice to be part of a theater festival, not just a sketch comedy festival. Although that's great too.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Justin.
Thanks so much.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's great too.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Justin.
Thanks so much.
Oh, yeah.